Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Let's Talk About Destiny, the podcast. I am Blade. I'm your first co-host. You can bring it to me. That's fine. Thank you. Wife just brought me food.
Good to hear.
And this is my co-host, Hart.
Hello, everybody. Heart of Darkio here. Call me Hart.
And so we did a little entry video like 2 weeks ago, talking about this. We are now starting a podcast because we love Destiny, and we love basically everything related to Destiny. And how we're going to do this is we're just going to talk about what we feel. We do a bi-weekly podcast, so we're going to go over like the first week and then the second week, and we're just going to debate things throughout that time. So let's start with the beginning. We both had our ideas on what the story for this new season was going to be. Hart, if you don't mind, I'm going to go first with this one.
Have at it.
So my first thoughts of the season was I thought Callus's child, Keitel, was going to show up and basically just tell us to bend the knee. And that's exactly what happened. Zavala stood up to her and told her no. I also thought that we were going to see, so we see Crow standing there, all emo looking with his new suit and his mask. And hey, don't laugh. He was looking pretty fucking emo. I thought Osiris was going to take him under his wing and just train him and teach him how to be a guardian. I honestly thought at the end of last season that was going to be our job. I thought we were going to be showing Crow the ropes, but it very much looks like Osiris is going to be the one showing him the ropes. There's a rumor that's going around that he's going to be the next Hunter Vanguard or the next speaker. I still believe that, even though we've right now on week 2 we kind of hear that Crow is basically just being I guess a vendor, like a op, just kind of showing us and telling us what to do. I honestly believe that he might be the next speaker or the next Hunter Vanguard, only because his connection to the light is so fucking strong. And yes, there is cussing in this podcast because I cannot hold back. So I apologize. Going back to the Cabal, she gets mad and chooses to attack us with force and try to force us into submission. So we will go to Earth, Nessus, and Europa to fight for our system. Now, Hart, do you want to say what your theory for the story was, or do you just want me to continue explaining what's actually happening?
No, continue your thought. It transitions well into what's actually happening.
So what's actually is happening is kind of what I predicted. She shows up, she tells us that the only way we're going to stop the hive is if we work together, but she wanted Zavala to basically bend the knee to her and to join her and sit at her war console. Zavala said no. Now apparently we have Saladin and Crow and Osiris and Zavala all basically running these ops on for us to kind of stop her. And what we're actually doing is we're taking down her war council. She can't go to war if she doesn't have a war council to fight for her. So that's basically what we're doing. So far we unlocked Nessus first, and then we unlocked Europa. We just unlocked what was it, not EDZ but Cosmodrome this week, and there's still one more to come, so I'm very excited about that.
Right.
But as of right now, we have already stopped 3 of her councils, I guess you would say. We've already stopped 3 of them, and there's one more, and there's a strike. We have no idea what's going to happen in the strike. There's rumors and speculation that we're going to fight Keitel in the strike, but not like kill her, but kind of like the corrupted strike, where we don't kill the Awoken, we just kind of stop her and decorrupt her. So there's that rumor going around that we're going to fight Keitel and just basically make her see everything our way. So yeah, that's the story so far. Heart, how much did you think was gonna happen? Have you gotten it right, and have you gotten it wrong so far?
So, trying to make sure I don't kind of repeat what's already been said.
No, dude, repeat. I mean, it's your opinion. Like, there is no wrong opinion to this.
You do have a good point. So, essentially, from what I saw, given from the trailer that came out on the, February 9th, we saw that we see Keitel, Empress Keitel, Callus's daughter, estranged from Callus, literally as Osiris put it in the trailer, and later on the story, betrayed her father.
Yep.
And we all know that's because Callus did not run the Empire, I guess, as for their benefit. It was for his benefit. So, what happens when a leader does things for themselves? They just get offed off. Very Roman Empire-esque.
I don't want to interrupt you,
No,
but I was
means.
hearing that the Cabal were a war-driven race, and Callus does not see it that way. Like, Callus is the grow fat from strength person. Like, he lives a very luxurious life, not a very war-filled life like the normal Cabal does, correct?
Yes, he seeks entertainment, not war.
Yeah.
And we ended up being the most entertaining thing he's ever found, us Guardians.
All right, you could continue with your speculations now.
Thank you. So, everything that I saw that I had thought predicted right was, them coming over, them proposing an alliance. Mainly Osiris kind of pointing out that seems very suspect, saying Cabal don't form alliances, they conquer when they can't get with their way. To which Keitel responds, though you're not wrong, do know your place. I'm speaking to the commander, not you. And ultimately, when decision time came, which apparently the whole community was very happy about, Zavala chose no. Which I guess in a lot of ways redeemed his character.
Yeah.
Compared to the last 2 years so far of Destiny. Refusing to take action with Cayde, and then refusing to have anything to do with Eris and the Hive on the moon. So, given this, now he has, which again I want to emphasize, what we're doing now isn't really war with the Cabal. It isn't even though it's said in the trailer we've opened a war with the Cabal, it really isn't a war, which is the one thing I surprisingly was wrong about. It's not war. What we're doing is simply defending our solar system, because they've invaded into the solar system in great mass.
Yeah.
Keitel has said, and which you can see in a lot of the dialogues, she does not want to fight us. She'd rather us be allies, because if we're going against each other, then it just leaves the Hive able to take us all out.
Well, also we kind of destroyed Gol, and Gol became this being that was so powerful within the Cabal name, and
yes,
she to be honest, I honestly think she's a little scared of us because we defeated Gol.
Well, that's why they're seeking this alliance, because we're one of the very few races that have been able to hold off against the Hive. As she's put it, Toto Bottle, their homeworld, was completely overrun. And yet Earth still stands. The last city still stands. So clearly she's saying, why fight when I can have them join me? But the keyword being them join me, not me join them.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately why it leads to Zavala being asked to be subservient to me. And his refusal. So the refusal, of course, made sense. There's no way in hell he would have said yes. Because he's all for humanity, and the Cabal aren't for humanity. They're for surviving and winning. So that leaves just us to be as the acting soldiers for that message of no. So now, this entire season is just dedicated to us defending our solar system from apparently their old traditions. Because they're having this battle, these proving grounds, whether we want it or not. And clearly we don't want it. So the only solution is, well, we'll just kill all of you to get off of it.
Yeah, like we'll stop you.
So that's what I find the most interesting about the story so far, is that it actually isn't war. We're just defending our land, because you, the Cabal, are basically hosting a war with the Hive on our turf.
Yeah.
And we don't appreciate that.
I seriously, like, now sitting here at like halfway through week 2, I honestly believe that this is a test. Like, she knew that we weren't just gonna take the easy road out and like just say, okay, we'll follow you. I honestly believe that she knew that we weren't gonna say yes, and she wanted to see what actions we were gonna take to see if we actually were capable of like stopping Xivu Arath. Because like Xivu Arath is one of, like, I'm not gonna say gods in the Hive world, but like Oryx and his sisters are kind of known as gods.
True.
So,
I mean, Oryx himself, when he was a she before consuming the night, I believe, worm god, yeah, he consumed a god. So he was in essence a god. That's why they always say you killed a Hive god, because Oryx killed god. So if we killed Oryx, that means we can kill a Hive god. But I do agree, especially after the dialogues narrative they introduced this week, because obviously besides gameplay, think of it just from like a narrative sense. If she was so opposed to us in these things, why hasn't she done anything personal?
yeah.
They and her upper leadership haven't done anything because, well, maybe deep down they do find this entertaining, seeing us combat these other high commanders, Voluses, who want to prove themselves to her, saying, I deserve to be one of your chosen commanders, and then us coming in and proving, well, we're stronger than they are. And remember, the Cabal values strength. So if anything, they see us kicking their commanders' asses, they're going to be like, hey, you can't fault them. They're strong. What are you going to do? Results are results. If you are taken down, then it just proves that they were better.
It's kind of like in prison, where the stupid arrogant person that first week in prison, like, what do? Like, you find the biggest person and you show your place, so that way they know not to mess with you. It's kind of like that.
Exactly. You prove your stance.
Yeah. All right. First impressions. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I think I'll go first because I don't have as much passionate first impressions. Not that I don't like the game, it's just I'm more stoic because I want to save your impression flash, because you are very expressive and emotional about them. It's always nice to hear that stuff.
It's kind of like we said inside the first video, is you're very much the lore, the background person, and I'm very much like the gameplay and how mechanics work and stuff like that.
Basically.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, dude.
All right, so first impressions. By far, for a start on these first 2 weeks, arguably one of the better seasons that they've had in a while. This season's just had like a good pacing of like activities to do. There's so many like good activities to kind of run through. The bounties aren't like, obviously terrible. They're not like too strenuous. And if anything else, the new weapons that they introduced for the season are just fantastic. Good rolls. They fire well. They go very well with the theme of the season. And the bosses themselves, the narratives, and how these characters are interacting with each other, I can't ask for anything more. Like, honestly, it's good that they've risen the bar to this level, because they has to keep it every season from this point on going like this forward. Because if they don't do this level of stuff, 14 and beyond, it's like you can't back off. You got to fully send it.
Yeah.
And they sent it with this season. Like, it's 10 out of 10 for me so far, and we're only 2 weeks in.
Yeah. You got any negatives, or you continue with positives?
If I had to give a negative for this season, I will say that the time gating on the ward table kind of, makes me think like I'm not getting as much out of every activity as I can. But I do understand why they time gate things. Is because they don't want people running through the entire content within a week. Because some people do
glad
that.
you said that, because I was going to sound like an asshole in a couple of minutes.
No. I'm sure a lot of people have that same sentiment where even if they don't like time gating, it's better than to be like, well, how come you guys didn't make enough content? It's like, we made 3 months of content. You decided to just get rid of it all in 7 days. It's not our fault.
That's like the like the people who say, I want the main DLC and the 3 or 4 seasons of content all done all at once. And it's like, no, because if you know the Destiny community like we know, it's literally, we're gonna burn through that in 2 months, and then we're gonna have 10 months of a dead ass game.
Exactly. And then they blame the company for that when it's not even their fault.
Yeah, no, it's our fault. It's like we have this conversation all the time between you and me about people saying that Destiny is a dead game. Like, when you have 1.5 million people playing, or 1.15 million people playing, it's not a dead game. It's they separate the content on purpose so that way it keeps you coming back for more. Bungie literally has made Destiny to be a game that you take breaks playing. So that way you could go, like right now, Caitlin and I are playing the new Persona game that just came out. And now we're also playing Destiny. Like,
right.
This is what the game was made to be. That's why the new challenges for Destiny do not go away every week. They're there for the whole season. So that way, if you want to take the first month off and then come by later and then just turn all your stuff in all at once and get like half the war table done in one go, you're allowed to. There's no problem with that.
Not to mention that, especially with this season onward, which I was very happy about reading, one of the last couple TWABs before season 13 started was they were afraid of player feeling FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So they obviously made everything now yearly instead of seasonal content too.
Yeah.
The weekly challenges are based on a season, but the actual activity itself is going to be around until the next year. Which for me is perfect, because if you're telling me I can have Battlegrounds until season 16, I'm all for it. That's fine. I could see myself playing this still even when the next expansion comes out, because it's just a fun activity. It's just so engaging.
Well, remember, this won't be here when Witch Queen comes out.
Well, yeah, what I mean is like yearly stuff, meaning like it's not going to end in May or June. This is going to keep going until expansion.
So you're saying you like the idea that when the next season comes out and we have the season of the Redacted as of right now, you could still go back and do Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
like you like that you could go back and play old content.
It's like, imagine people that are too busy that are
Yeah.
unable to like play this season because of whether like work, travel, or school. And imagine by the time they get back, well, they never got to test it, and the next season starts, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So Bungie understood that. So they're like, you know what, we're gonna make this a yearly thing. You can keep playing it and seeing it past the season that it was introduced. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
Okay.
Do
well,
that. That's good.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll go now.
Yep, go for it.
First impressions. I'm gonna start with the good, and then I'm gonna go bad, and then I'm gonna go to positive, negative. So first impressions. Good. I really like the content loop. It's really good. It feels like Menagerie. You go in, you do this first like area wave, I guess you would say, and then you do a little bit of traveling, and then you got a second one to go do. You do a little bit of traveling, and then you have the boss one. So nice. And I like how, if you like, let's say you have a bounty that's get rocket launcher kills, save your heavy ammo until the boss room, because then you can go in there with a rocket launcher and just murder a whole group of ads. You're done with that bounty in one shot. It's so nice. I love it. Let's see. I like the character development, especially now. Come week 2, it's even better. Though the first week, I love that Saladin Saladin showed up. He was talking. Was not expecting that. You see Crow, kind of like starting to understand his bearings a little bit. Osiris is playing mentor with him, and it's really cool. But now come week 2, even better. Saladin is giving Guardians, like new age Guardians, crap about, oh, we didn't have this during the Battle of the Six Fronts or Twilight Gap. And then Crow turns around and it's just, I don't know where, like, I don't know my destiny or my Guardian history, because like I'm still new, but what were you doing during the Red War? And then he just like leaves the conversation, and Crow's like, oh, that's weird, we must have a weak signal or something. Like, God, that is so good. I fucking love it. I really love whoever designed this season. Oh my god, they did such a good job with character development. Weapons are phenomenal, especially the rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is my favorite weapon, legendary. I need to like put my foot down right now. My favorite legendary weapon is the rocket launcher.
Of course.
I got lasting impressions. Awesome. I'm still looking for the impulse amplifier to go with my lasting impressions, so that way I could just melt everything. But I still haven't gotten it yet. But I also haven't really grinded for that weapon. But I will. I really like challenges. It kind of gives you a secondary thing to focus on besides bounties, because bounties were always, oh, you literally have to go to the tower, grab bounties, go do stuff, go back to the tower, grab bounties, go do stuff. I don't really like that. I don't like that we have to hoard bounties just to progress. So the fact that we have these challenges that literally give you like a full rank up in your season pass, that's amazing.
Not to mention that they're also designed very well, because I don't want to use the word force, but it does make the Guardian have to play the activities that are available for Destiny, essentially.
Yeah. Well, so I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people do not like to be forced to go play Gambit or go play Crucible when they don't want to. I understand.
Showdown.
Or Showdown. I haven't even done it yet. I still have to do it. I'll probably do it tonight. But yeah, no. It's like a lot of people don't like to be forced and told what to do. But at the same time, it works for the stuff that have dropped for that week. Like Showdown's here this week. It's also a challenge for a reason. Like, it's nice that they tie it into the week that you're doing it. Let's see. Title updates are really cool. I'm like halfway done with getting my Gambit gilded. I just need the wins. That's mostly it. 50 Gambit wins are very hard when most of your matches they don't have Lament or they don't have the Code Duello rocket launcher, the new season rocket launcher, because those are just boss killers and a lot of people don't have them. But the other enemy team has them. So like it doesn't matter if you like summon the Primeval first, they're gonna win because they could just melt that Primeval without even trying.
Right.
The helm is a really cool idea. I like how we don't like, to be honest, we really don't know where we are. It's like this random ass room somewhere. We don't know where it is, but it is overlooking a hangar. So maybe we're in a ship. I honestly believe that we're in a ship because there is this rumor / speculation that basically that's going to be like an actual like aircraft, kind of like in Avengers with the Triskelion that Nick Fury flies.
Right.
Someone said that it might be that. Like this might be the Triskelion. So I kind of like that idea. Let's see. Not so good impression. I originally had Umbrals don't drop enough. That is a lie. I've officially have gotten to the point where I have my inventory and half my postmaster on my Titan filled with Umbral engrams. So I take back that negative. They drop just fine. If you actually sit there and you play things, they drop fine. Let's see. There's been performance issues. I've noticed this. I've been kicked out on multiple games so far. And I've been told multiple times, like, oh, you don't have access to Beyond Light. And I'm like, yes, I do. I bought Beyond Light like the day it dropped. Don't tell me this. Or the day I got my PS5, I bought it, and it's telling me that I don't have access to it. I'm like, yes, I do. Don't do that. I would literally have to force close my game and then go back in just to get to work. And then there's just a lot of performance issues. And I've noticed that it's been that way ever since they released Destiny on this new engine that they're using to get away from the one that Activision made. And also let's talk about game lag. Oh my god. So in the video that's playing right now, like a minute ago, there's this warlock that was frozen on a well of radiance. And me and a teammate laid into him. And his health or his shield did not drop once. But then as soon as he unfroze, he was frozen, by the way. Let me be straight up with that. He was frozen. As soon as he was no longer frozen, he murdered us. What the hell? Come on.
Right.
So, a positive and a negative is with the content loop. It's kind of slow. And that's a positive and a negative only because it's kind of nice that we're not able to just grind out the seasonal content. But it's also negative because you can only upgrade the war table in the helm 3 times a week. That's literally going to take us almost the whole season to get done.
Right. It'll take, if they're giving us 3 per week, it'll take us 7 weeks in order to complete the table.
Now, I did hear a rumor or speculation or something that apparently right now they only give medium helm XP. Soon they will be dropping at a large XP.
Oh.
Like, if I heard it correctly, they will start dropping large XP instead of just medium XP. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's what I heard.
Okay.
We could talk about the TWAB from the first week if you want to.
Sure. I just want to make sure that, the people listening do know that, what Blade said is very important because it's a positive negative, because the negative aspect that it is time gated, meaning it isn't something you can just instantly access. But what's positive is that it's time gating because it's pacing us.
Yeah.
To make sure we don't go into a content dry spell. It makes sure that we have something to do. There's something always going on that you can do. That's not like, yeah, I did everything. It's like, well, after you've done everything on, say, all 3 characters, all of a sudden now, oh, hey, look, new week, new stuff. There you go. So it's time gated, but it's paced. And pacing something is always a good thing because it doesn't, like, ruin or kind of negate the experiences.
Yeah. Someone said, like, a sweet spot for it. Because, like, right now it's going to take, like, 10 weeks, I think it is, to get it done. Right?
For the table?
No, is this 7?
Well, the thing is, last week and this week we were given 3 medium XP, which is equated to having basically 3 upgrades each week. If there's 21 upgrades, then that just means it would take 7 weeks.
Yeah. So someone said that if it is medium, it's going to take like 7 weeks to get done. A good sweet spot would have been like 6 weeks. Like, that would have been like the perfect, like, that's like a week and a half, and then, or a month and a half, and then it will be done. And then you got another month and a half of the content to play.
Right.
Like, fully upgraded. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. TWAB time from the 11th.
Right.
So I have some key points from the TWAB that I thought were really cool. Heart, you could just bake off of what I say, and then at the end, if there's anything else that you want to add from the TWAB reading, you can.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so the Stranger has a collection of new stasis aspects and fragments to earn. Exotic armor pieces have also been added, 1 per class to discover. I think that's really awesome. I unfortunately did miss out on 2 of the fragments from last season, or last season. But luckily, there's 6 new ones to get. Is it 6 or is it 4?
Actually, I believe it is. I want to say it's 4.
Okay, so there is new ones to get, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to end up bringing back some of the old ones, so that way for the people who didn't get them, they have a chance to get them, or like you could like use like the Europa materials to buy it or something. I'm pretty sure they're going to do something like that. And like I said, there's new exotics for each subclass. Really cool idea. I really want that Titan one to help with Thunder Crash, because the reason why I never use Thunder Crash is because I honestly believe it just doesn't do enough damage.
Curious of the Falling Star. Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any exotic armor pieces or any aspects or fragments that you're looking forward to get?
So, one of the ones that definitely caught my attention was the Warlock exotic chess piece, the Mantle of Battle Harmony. Okay. Just because it requires you to be kind of strategic using it, because it increases your supercharge rate. That's nice. And damage when your energy weapon kills match the subclass equipped. So let's say you are running Void. Okay, cool. You have Palindrome, Void hand cannon. those kills are going to help boost your super when you unleash it.
Yeah.
Just as an example, and that for me that's awesome because it makes you have to kind of like plan out what weapons you have to use, when to correctly use them, which I'm not the, again, I use them, but I'm not the biggest fan of like exotic pieces that just like massively, like grossly empower your super, because then it becomes kind of like annoying in certain situations, like in Crucible or Gambit.
Yeah.
This one requires you to kind of have to be tactful with your super and your weapons, because you're going to want weapon loadouts that benefit not only the game you're playing, the mode, but also are going to benefit your super based on the situation. And I think that's clever.
Okay. I am mostly looking forward to getting the aspect for the Warlock that gives you the little turret buddy.
Very nice. Yep.
So because I like using Arc Soul when I run Stormcaller, so this will give me a reason to run Stasis with my Warlock, so that way I can have a little turret buddy, and you put no time to explain with it, and you're just your own little fire team. I love it.
And despite what I guess some people say in the community, I'm honestly a big fan of the Titan aspect, the one that lets you launch the ice forward. It is much more of a feasible use, because anything caught within its path basically freezes, which has proved very useful, whether in Crucible or even in like what I found is very, very helpful in like lost sectors.
Yeah.
Especially like champions and everything when you try to do legend.
Alright. Well, the next thing is Hawthorne's Red War era dialogue is finally gone. So when you complete your weekly Hawthorne clan XP, she no longer says what does she say? She says oh god, what the fuck does she say? Now that I'm talking about it, I can't remember. I had it in my head 2 seconds ago.
But basically took out the Cabal to like basically she just
took out the Cabal, you woke up the Traveler, and from what I hear, you and your clan like something. Like they finally took that away. So a lot of people are happy because, to be honest, that should have went away when Beyond Light came out. When they got rid of Year 1, they should have got rid of that dialogue. Because no new Light Guardian is going to know what the fuck she's talking about.
Right. It only took 4 years.
Yeah, right. Players can now turn in gunsmith materials 100 at a time. Vanguard tokens
so
20
much.
at a time. Enough
so
to get...
good.
Yeah, so both
Rank.
of those are just enough to get like a full rank.
Like
that I'm so happy. Because if you're like me, you're sitting on like 7 to 10,000 gunsmith materials. And I'm just like, I literally spend 20 minutes like just turning in gunsmith materials. And that's not even for a full inventory of guns. Like I hated it. I really did. Let's see.
I think they should make that a habit for all the vendors. We'll just have them deposit the amount that it would be required to go up a rank. And if you don't have enough, well, then you just fill up the bar, whatever that stands.
They are now.
That's what I'm saying, is like, I'm glad they did that. Just make sure you do that for any future vendors, like in Destiny.
Now, if they could do it with the planetary vendors, because right now you still turn in 2 to get a whole rank up with them. Now, if they could just do it to the planetary materials and vendors, then we'll be fine. Even if you haven't purchased Beyond Light just yet, they've also updated the power floor caps to help you get caught up for raised dungeons and general quests. So like the floor cap now is 1100. And so originally it was what was it? It was like 1080. or 1050. Sorry, it was 1050 before, and they raised it up with this season to 1100. So that way, it's that much easier for new light guardians to get through the quest faster.
Right.
So that's pretty nice. Let's see. They've got like 6 new weapons into the ritual activities, which are strikes, crucibles, and gambit. There's 6 new weapons. For Gambit, there's a hand cannon and fusion rifle. Crucible, there's a sidearm and a sniper rifle. And then strikes, it's the rocket launcher and the pulse rifle, I think.
That is correct.
Yeah, so there's new weapons. Are you grinding for any of those weapons right now?
Not like actively. If I get them, then they're fine. Obviously, I've been hearing, like, you know, amongst the community, like, you need to get a bottom dollar, which is the hand cannon, or the Vanguard rocket launcher is like really viable because it comes with like good perk combinations.
Lasting impression.
Really, mainly just lasting impression.
That's
all
basically the only
about.
thing everyone's looking for right now is lasting impression.
So, not actively looking for them, but I know the weapons. I'm definitely happy that they're there because they are themed to the mode that you get them in, and they are also just nice weapons to have now that we've lost viable ones that can't be like fully upgraded to like everyday mode usage. So
Yeah.
it's really, really good. Like, I'm glad that they are kind of like pushing in newer guns just for us to have, because if you just keep running the same old weapons, eventually it's gonna kind of grow stale.
So me being the Gambitier that I am forcing myself to play Crucible because I want the sniper rifle with kill clip. So that way I can run into Gambit, get a kill off of a red bar, reload, jump through the portal, and body shot Guardians.
Right.
Like, it's a one-shot body shot to any Guardian. That's amazing, and that's what I want.
I don't blame you.
Let's see. The banners for rank ups are officially gone. They no longer show across your screen. It shows up in a very thin stripe across the bottom. And I kind of like it. I honestly don't even like realize that I rank up now. And I love it because I just go into the tower and I have like prime Ingrams waiting for me, and I like it.
Agreed. And plus, to me, it's like aesthetically, it like looks nice. It looks very clean.
Yeah, it's very sleek, like the UIs, the new UIs for all the vendors. I love it. It looks so much better than what it was before.
Agreed.
They fixed the quest full issue that if you start a new Guardian and you try to do Shadowkeep or anything else before you do Forsaken, the Forsaken quest line will literally say quest full if you try picking up the Shadowkeep or anything else. And so that's a pretty nice update because like me, when you start a new light, you automatically get all your subclasses, like all 3 tiers in each subclass. So there was really no point for me to do Forsaken until later, and I immediately jumped into Shadowkeep, and I could go back and do Forsaken when I wanted to. Until I got all the Shadowkeep done. So now that they updated it, I was able to go start Forsaken now instead of waiting until I got Shadowkeep done.
Right.
So yeah, that was pretty nice. Let's see. The Decrypting Darkness quest line that was from week 1. A lot of people did not get a free Ingram, like a free Umbral Ingram, on their second and third character, and apparently that was intentional. They meant for it to be like that.
Yep. I noticed that with my hunter. Yep.
Yeah, so Bungie wanted to announce that was intentional, you weren't just going to get a free engram every single time you did those quest lines on each character. So that was intentional. But it's weird because the part 2 or the one from this week, they gave you a free umbral each time. But week 1, it was intentional not to give you one, so that's really weird.
I personally think it was just a mistake on their part. They just forgot to like do it for this week too.
Maybe. You know what? Yeah, it could have been. And then the Fallen Saber Strike is blocked off for bug fixes, I guess.
Bug fixes.
Bug fixes. I don't think so. And Cosmodrome will not be coming back in its full glory. Because I honestly believe what ended up happening was they did what they did with Cosmodrome and then realized how much work it took. And they just ran out of time, so they were like, oh, we're just going to tell everyone that we're not doing it. So this makes me think that if they didn't bring back the full Cosmodrome, what are the chances that we're not going to get back the full old Mars, the full Venus, the full Dreadnought? Like, I swear, if we don't get the full Dreadnought in Witch Queen, I will lose my shit.
We do also have to take into consideration that Cosmodrome back in Destiny 1 was the largest of the maps.
True.
Which the smallest of the maps, I believe, was Dreadnought, technically. So I think they'd be able to pull like everything from D1 and kind of get it in there for now D2 and future seasons. Granted, I will say, if they are unable to, I'd be curious as to why. Cosmodrome, I understand. Large map. I get it. The others, I think they're perfectly feasible, so I'd want an explanation for those.
Alright, so I want to go over some cool weapons that just came with this season. We got about 27 minutes already.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it's been that long. I'm not even joking. I didn't even realize. Tichu's divination, amazing ass bow.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. It absolutely just murders in PvE and in PvP. It's pretty nice. Let's see. The new sub, the submachine gun, the extraordinary rendition. Oh my god, the thing feels like what's the Risk Runner? It feels like Risk Runner, just without the arc. Great weapon.
And and depending on the perks you get on it, it can just be super viable in multiple situations.
Yeah. Let's see. Frozen Orbit. It's the sniper rifle that I want. When you get kill clip, you one-shot body guardians, and I can't wait for have it. Code Duello, aka my new best friend. Sorry, Heart, but Code Duello is my new best friend.
That's fine.
If you get a chain on it, it just murders every single ad in its like area. But if you get lasting, it just melts the bosses. Especially if you use Tichus with it.
Right.
If you could get lasting with auto-loading hoster, you could literally just Tichus until your gun reloads itself, switch to the rocket launcher, shoot, and then switch back to Tichus, and you didn't just fucking well on the boss.
Right.
Royal Entry, also, it drops with lasting. Like, we have 2 rocket launchers that drop with lasting impression. Oh my god.
What more could you what more can you ask?
Internal Blazon is the sidearm, and I actually almost got the role that I wrote down. I wrote down Killing Wind and Kill Clip. both PvP, great. I got Killing Wind and what's the Zen moment?
And Zen moment.
I got so close. So close.
My goodness.
And the last one, we got a data mine for a new text exotic weapon. I predicted it was gonna be a scout rifle. Hart, you also said it was gonna be a scout rifle or it was gonna be a sidearm. Guess what? We were right. It was a scout rifle. The thing's fucking amazing.
Oh, we couldn't have been more happy with our right choice.
Yeah, like, oh my god. I cannot imagine this weapon in any other way besides a fucking scout rifle. It's so good. And like, it's so funny. So like, if you take your time and you get all 5 precision shots, I don't know if you hear, but it does that little, it does like a little whistling sound.
It does.
When you proc that 5th hit, it makes a little whistling sound, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that literally wraps up week 1. We still have to talk about this week, which also, starting with it, exotic mission.
Oh god, presage.
Yeah, or you could say presage.
Presage.
Presage. Yeah, no, that mission, absolutely amazing.
Phenomenal. Like, again, the developers and the studios that are like focusing, whoever was the team that developed that mission, they deserve so much credit. They deserve so much recognition because that was incredible.
I honestly believe that this is my new favorite exotic mission that we have.
It'd have to be mine too. And we
Or
were just given
we ever
Harbingers
had.
too. We've just been given Harbingers just a few weeks ago, really. And then this one just comes in all of a sudden.
Yeah, so I honestly believe that this is my new favorite exotic mission that we have. And
Put a
this is
horror game in
including
Destiny.
like 0 hour whisper, like everything. This is my favorite.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Zero's fantastic. It's always going to be like up there.
Also for week 2, like I said before, Saladin gave New Guardians crap because we have a lot more than what he had back when he was a badass Guardian. And Crow just puts him in his place about the Red War. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing that development of like Crow being new with, I guess, the unofficially new because they're not really aware of his existence to the extent that we and Osiris know, but him being introduced to the Vanguard and interacting with Saladin, with Osiris, with Holiday even. The interaction that everyone's been having with like Holiday even, who's not even a Guardian, is just amazing.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing different stances, which is like more on my side, the lore side, of how they're all thinking, how they're all wanting to approach this, where we could see that they're not all unified. It's not all like we're all friends, we're all allies. We have differing opinions. We have some strain, some tension between certain characters, where we could see that Crow is the most sympathetic for the Cabal, while Saladin especially is very, very aggressive toward this.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that those two are at ends with each other because they don't seem to get along that well.
Do you honestly believe that Saladin and Zavala know that Crow's Uldren?
I don't think they know. I honestly think they don't know.
Some people were talking about this situation. I honestly believe that they have no idea that he is who he is.
Well, I think so too, because we've also technically weren't honest with them because we're just vouching for them.
Yeah.
We're lying technically, but because Osiris kind of asked us to.
Yeah.
And we're just like, hell, we're supporting him, so of course we're going to lie for his sake. We're fine with that.
But other than that, unfortunately, nothing has really happened this week besides we got the Cosmodrome Battlegrounds. And that one's
Which
just
is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely mental. I feel like this the Cosmodrome one is the most chaotic one out of the three.
Definitely.
But other than that, nothing really has happened this week.
I will add in from my impression, since I didn't have it the first week, but I did get it the second week. And funny how people were calling this weapon like certain names. I would have a different name for it. So while everyone was happy, and I'm certainly happy with the new Salvager's Salvo.
You know what? I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it is literally, for me, Fighting Lion 2.0. And I've loved Fighting Lion. So this weapon was just like a dream in my hands, especially when I'm running through Nightfalls and everything.
I want to say it's like Fighting Lion and Mountaintop had a baby.
It's a really good way to put that.
Like, that's how I see it. If they had like a grenade launch baby, there you go. That's what it is.
Right. Fighting Lion didn't pack a lot of like damage, while Mountaintop obviously just shot straight. So when you have a very fast of projectile weapon, which also does decent amount of damage at the same time, and it's remote detonation, that's the Salvo. For me, that's perfection. I love it. It's great. Yeah. And the skins on it are amazing.
Let's see. For the 12th this week, something pretty cool was announced by Bungie. Let me pull this up so I get my full numbers correct.
Right.
So we found out that apparently what's going to end up happening is Bungie is, I'm not sure if they're, I don't know if they're building a new studio.
They're expanding on the one that they currently have.
Oh, so they are expanding this one.
From, I think, 88,000 to 228,000, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right now.
It's an insane amount. That's literally 2.5 times what they're currently operating with, and that's incredible.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be it's supposed to conclude next year.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, they are hiring, if I remember correctly, they're doubling their workforce.
They are.
In doing this.
They're also trying to house all the new hires they made over 2020 who weren't able to come physically in the office because of COVID.
Yeah. So it's going from 84,000 to 2008. And then okay, so it literally says in January, as part of the ongoing plan to a sustainable growth, Bungie broke ground on a extensive expansion and redesign of its worldwide headquarters, estimated to complete in fall of 2022. So basically, light fall. This project will increase Bungie's headquarters from 84,000 to
208,000
to more than 2008 or 208,000.
208,000. Jesus.
So, in addition to building the state-of-the-art facilities to support the growth of and development of their talented employees, one of the primary drivers of Bungie's expansion is to increase the commitment to the long-term development of Destiny 2, tell new stories in the Destiny universe, and create entirely new worlds in to-be-announced IPs. The new facility will include a reimagine of its Bellevue WA base studio space to support multiple project teams, including those of the Destiny universe. Designed by award-winning architect MBBJ, the new headquarters is centered on collaborative neighborhoods built to support the spirit of deeply integrated creative collaborations that define Bungie's success and a hybrid workforce of both remote and on-site staff.
Yeah.
But then in addition, they're opening up their first international office in Amsterdam.
Yeah, the publication and media branch.
So that's absolutely insane.
Right,
But then,
and Amsterdam's one of like the European capitals for gaming, so that's perfect.
yeah. And then they also just they hired a couple new people for their leadership team. Louis Village's chief technology officer, Danielle Porter, chief financial officer, and Don McGowan, general counsel. But then to expand the Destiny IP and to bring new stories and experience to their highly engaged community, Bungie appointed Mark Noseworthy, vice president DU, and Luke Smith, executive creative director for the DU, to oversee and prepare for the expansion of the Destiny universe into additional media. And then Justin Truman is now the general manager of D2. Holy shit.
I know, right? And the key word from all that is the new term DU.
Yeah. Oh my god,
people
this
who
is
are
gonna be
like
insane.
fans of like media, and yeah, for anyone who's a fan of like media and all that stuff, when you have that kind of a any blank universe, that does create a lot of excitement because it kind of implies, so we thinking of this like outside of games too, like movies, books,
So to go with that,
film,
they
TV
just
shows.
hired Pamela Kaufman, or they're consulting with her. She's president of Viacom CBS.
Yes, the CBS lady.
Also has a portfolio of brands spanning Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, BET, CBS, Showtime, and Paramount Pictures.
Yep.
So it's safe to say we're gonna have a Destiny show or movie or anime.
I'm
A
fine with
lot
either.
of people are saying they want a Destiny anime because the
I think
comics
for the platform, yeah,
What's up?
the comics were amazing, and the platform of what like the premise of Destiny is could be best expressed in an anime.
Yeah. I was listening to DCP today, and they were
Mhm.
saying that if it's going to be a full on action anime, Bungie might just go with one studio and call it good. But if it is going to be a multi-step anime, so you have some high notes, you have some low notes, you have some like sad moments, stuff like
Right.
that. Bungie might want to actually branch out and go to like 2 or 3 different companies to work on their anime, so that way they can all specialize in their respective fields instead of having one team do all of it. And you might have some like serious moments or sad moments where it's just really bad animation or really bad storytelling because they're not
Mhm.
they're not used to it. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that Bungie is doing what 343 did with Halo. And as soon as they got control of Halo, they started making live action movies and short bits and stuff to get you to see this other side of Halo that you can't see inside the games, to give you more backstory on what the universe is. And I honestly believe that there's so much lore in Destiny, it writes its own story that we could use.
Right.
Like what if they did a show that each episode's a one-off, and like they do one episode of like the whole thing with Drifter and the Warlock of Nor, But then the next episode is Osiris and Sagira like going through the Infinite Forest. And then there's one episode that it's literally like Zavala and Shaxx fighting at the Battle of the Six Fronts, and like that would be a really cool idea. They could do like these 30 or 40 or 50-minute episodes where they're all one-offs and they all show you bits of the lore that we have read in the lore cards, but they actually show us how it happened.
And you already know my stance on anything involving animation and storytelling. I'm all for it. It's
exactly.
If anything, I could not see anything better for the franchise, because it'll help them branch out to even larger audiences. Because it even shows that Destiny is more than just a game. It's literally like, you know, Destiny goes beyond the game.
Yeah, it
there's
really
so
does.
There's so much in this that you can appreciate. Even if you don't even hold a controller, you could still appreciate the storytelling, the characters, things like that.
I mean, that's how Caitlyn got into Destiny. Is I was playing it and she was just like watching me and like kind of understanding what's going on, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
You know what I think would spark this?
What's up?
Back when they were under Activision, those live action commercials.
Dude, I fucking love those.
Those are, everyone was like, if you could have that kind of quality, we don't mind seeing this live action some way, because that looks amazing.
You had that warlock that went Leroy Jenkins, but then you have that one Titan that just walks into the Dreadnought, and like Oryx is there, and he's like, "I'm gonna need help, guys."
And he's like, he's right behind me, isn't he? And they're like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Right."
And then we can't forget about Destiny 2. Do it for the loot. Do it for the puppies.
Follow that guy.
So
It's
yeah,
just,
I can't wait.
Us being Destiny like fans, true and true. This is an amazing time, because
It
there's
really
so
is.
much potential. There's so much potential that this can grow into. And honestly, again, because they have the comics and stuff, and they have like the anthologies, if they do something similar to like media format, like they have books or anything like novels written about this, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people that'd be interested in that, to have their lore in a more novel kind of orientation. Like we have them in the game, where you have the lore pages, and they're literally formulated into books. If they could turn those books into hard copies, I can guarantee there's going to be a lot of people out there that would buy them just to have them, because they're very interesting.
Don't you have like 3 of them right now?
Those are the anthologies. What I'm talking about is like the ones in our like lore section in the game.
Oh, you're talking about like the Book of Sorrows and stuff like that, right?
Things like that. I could, if that was like, it's something like hard cover, that'd be amazing.
Well, that's why Mylan Games started working with Bungie to make the anthology books.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm pretty sure we're
amazing.
gonna get more. Like, I don't think we're done yet.
Oh no, I'd be hard pressed if we just stopped where we're at right now. There's so much more lore we can cover.
Okay, well, we're almost at time. I do want to put one more thing out there about the future of Destiny, or the DU to be exact. Remember, the studio will not be done until fall 2022. They already have 2 IPs that we know of that are being developed by Bungie. The rumor is the first one is an actual FPS, like full blown like PvP game, kind of like Overwatch and Call of Duty. So there is that rumor. I don't know if it's still like, yes, that's what's coming, but they did make an IP for that. And then there is a second IP that they are working on right now that is set to launch in 2025. So we have no idea what that's going to be. We don't even know if it's going to be Destiny related or not. I think it's safe to say that it might be Destiny related, because they're doing this big ass thing to expand the DU I'm pretty sure it's going to be Destiny related.
Right.
It might just be another like side game, or it might be like a prequel game or something. I don't know. Like I said, these are all speculations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't wait to see what Destiny is going to become over the next couple of years.
They're definitely deciding to put their foot forward, so it's always like a pleasing thing for us as fans.
Yeah,
to see
no,
that
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, this was episode 1. Oh, let's talk about Destiny, the game.
Ooh, all right.
The subtitle, I don't think I ever said this actually at the beginning of the video. The subtitle is Season of the Drop Pods.
Season of the Drop Pods.
I don't think I said that at the beginning of the video. But yeah, it's the Season of the Drop Pods. I actually have that as the title of my stream right now. But yeah, that's what it is. I'm sorry. You know how many battlegrounds I wasted trying to get like a flawless battlegrounds, and I died from a fucking drop pod? So many.
You hate to see it.
But yeah, so this was episode 1. And we cannot wait to come back in 2 weeks and do this again. Hopefully we'll have more news, because week 2 there wasn't that much news. But what can you say? The first week was so strong, it's kind of hard to follow that up.
Honestly, though, I mean, they did have one gigantic thing called Presage, but you know, hey,
Presage.
Presage.
All right, well, yeah, this is the end of it. So once again, my name is Blade. I will have the link in the YouTube video down below to the Twitch channel, where I stream from 5 to 9 o'clock MST, about 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. So yeah, you can always come there and come find me there. Hart, is there anything else you want to say?
I just want to say that, you know, signing off again, my name is Hart. Full name Heart of Dark Hero. You can see me playing with Blade. I'd say fairly often. If it's not one day, it's definitely the next day. And
it's like 80% of the time.
It's like 80% of the time. And if he ever wants me to join in on his streams and help be entertaining or funny, I'll do my best.
All right, well, thank you guys, and we will see you guys again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Yep, see y'all later then.